We are live with the Health, Love, and Life show. This is Coach Arnie. And on the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network TV and Podcast, #1 Internet Talk Network. Thank you again, CC Schatz, for hosting us and allowing us to get out here. Just want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I'm doing, a little crazy, but I've been inundated here the last couple of days with people wanting to do the Grand Canyon because that's my great fun event, and I also train some people doing it as well. So who knows? Maybe when I retire, I'll do that. But it's interesting because I love the Grand Canyon so much, and I had some great plans this year scheduled, but I couldn't do the things I needed to do at the canyon because of the COVID thing and all the things, and the park was shut down for 3 months, and now there still hasn't been any transportation. I was supposed to go tomorrow, and the guy couldn't go because he had something else prepared. And then I go, well, I'll go on my own, but I needed to, and it still could happen. If things, I'm ready to go. I just packed my bag. But if things happen tomorrow morning or tonight during this show, then I will go. And because I know exactly where I would park and what I need to do and But it's but now all these people are coming out of the woodwork because they want to do it in October, which is one of the busiest months at the Grand Canyon. It's usually closing weekend month, but I don't think there's going to be a closing weekend because nothing's open as it is. So what's to close? Because the canyon's always open, but the hotels and the water and all that stuff. So, but I've been down there all different times of the year, and so I'm not really worried about that. But last year I went on closing weekend, and it was a madhouse, and I wasn't aware it was, but it was crazy. So that was kind of fun. But I'm bringing this up because there is a method to my madness, because it's going to lead into what we're going to talk about tonight. Because my topic tonight is life's 6 great instructors. And the neat thing about them is they're free. I did a talk on it one time, and I kind of came up with this prior to my hopeful principle, which I've also done a show on, and I've done some different things on this before. Because there's some similarity to it. And actually, it goes back, I want to say 9 years. I actually did a TV show. It was called, I think it's still on. It was called The List. I was on the list for aging, and 3 of my things are on 3 of the things I talked about on the list for aging, healthy aging, because the list is all about coming up with lists of 3 or 4 things, usually not more than that, maybe 5 at the most, things that you do for, like ingredients in a drink or steps to a problem, whatever. And it was fun, and they came down and filmed all that stuff, and I was on a national show. The sad thing about that show is they played it on Memorial Day weekend on a Friday. So not very many people watched it, so it's okay. It was fun. So there's some similarities here and there, and I'll go over that with you here as we roll through this here. So but Life 6, and the neat thing about life, because it's all around us, it's not a book. It's not a person. Now, if you're lucky enough to have people around you that have wisdom, that's always a benefit. I mean, one thing we are lacking today in our society is wisdom. Wisdom. It's one thing to be old like me, getting up there, having lived a long time. But if you haven't learned anything, I'd rather talk to a 21-year-old that's got it going on, right? I totally. But there's nothing like talking to somebody who's 60, 70, 80 or older that has wisdom, that has lived and has learned. Okay, that's invaluable, totally invaluable. So let's just start off here, and we'll just kind of roll through some of these, and we'll talk about them. But the first one is probably the most common. We've talked about it a slew of times. You might even be able to guess. Movement, exercise, movement. Just move. You know, I was at a Tony Robbins workshop one time, and he goes, "Hey, you want to change your state like that?" Well, he did. Big guy, right? Just like that. Move. And that's why a lot of times, and I've done it at a workshop, or you're doing a talk, and you say, "Okay, everybody, I want everybody to stand up. I want everybody to stand up, and we're going to move around and jump or put your arms up or do some arm circles," because at his seminars and stuff, he's always moving and jumping and doing all kind of crazy stuff because he knows the value of movement and how it affects us and how it gets us going. It recenters our brain. It's just unbelievable. That's why, going to the gym, that's why one of the worst things that has happened in this whole COVID thing has been gyms closing and parks and swimming pools. I had a good friend took his 2-year-old daughter to a swimming pool today. He was so happy. He goes, "Oh man, it was like a breath of reality." We went there 3 minutes from the home. She got to swim. She was so happy. I go, "That's amazing." Versus my club's pool is still closed, even though some of the other clubs. That's another thing. That's a whole nother show. But movement has been stripped away. Now because I'm nuts. I'm the guy that's out there hiking. I haven't stopped my hiking. I still don't understand how a guy or a lady can hike up a mountain in 100-degree heat wearing a mask. That's a whole nother issue. It's hard enough for me to wear it for an hour when I'm working with somebody. So I don't know about that one. But I haven't missed a beat. And I haven't missed a beat at my gym either. But because we have an underground gym, thank God. Or I don't know what I would have done, seriously, because I have lifted weights and exercise since I was in grade school. 13, let's say, 12, almost 50 years. I mean, it's not even a habit. It's like cement. And talking to my coach this week, and who has really struggled in his life the last 3 or 4 years since his wife died. He's had multiple surgeries on his knees and back. But the main thing that's got him was right here. And because he's older, he stayed home because of COVID and all that stuff. And he told me the other day, he goes, "Arn," he goes, "It's been tough." He goes, "Because I needed to be moving. I needed to do things." He goes, "So I was doing some stuff in my house, but it just wasn't the same." And this guy was like a world champion. Can only imagine what he's going through. But when you're grieving, it's even harder because he has a broken heart. So that's another issue. But in the meantime, movement, especially as we get older, is so powerful. I've said it a million times. If it were a drug, it would be the most powerful drug on the planet. That's right. The most powerful drug on the planet. And you want to hear something really sad? Here in the United States, less than 50% of all Americans exercise. And let me tell you another thing that breaks my heart. What really breaks my heart is seeing young school children, because I used to teach PE to K through 6 for 5 years, and I had a doggone good. I almost said some bad words. A doggone good program, and I I did so much with those young kids. I mean, we worked, we had fun, we ran, jumped rope, we did it all. And but I had a lot of energy. And when I see these kids not able to exercise at school because they're not even in school, they're not able to go to their parks. I mean, I have a park right by my house. Literally, I can throw a rock and hit the park, and it's been empty all summer long. Usually, there's kids out there flying kites and playing soccer and softball, and it's just been sad. Big equipment that they covered up a few years ago, and they redid it all. It's beautiful, empty. I'm thinking, God, what would I have done if I was a kid? Because we were never home when I was a kid in the summer. We were at the swimming pool, Parks and Rec, gone, done, nothing. And it breaks my heart because I know how valuable it is and how powerful it is right here, which is why you have young kids, that have real mental issues going on, because exercise and movement affects our brain. That's why it's number one on my list as a instructor in life, to teach you so many things. It teaches you how to control your emotions. It keeps you healthy. It makes you less anxious, makes you less depressed. It makes you love yourself because you feel good about yourself. It gives you joy to know what you're doing. That you're taking care of yourself. Joy, love. So, movement. Number one. Number two. And when I'm coaching, this is how I do things. I know in my heart that nutrition is the key, but I know in my brain that it's way harder than movement. So you start off people on how to eat right, you'll lose them. You won't do it. You won't stick with it. But if I get someone saying, if I say, hey, I want you to walk around, I want you to walk for 5 minutes. I can do that. Get it? I want you to go keto. I want you to go paleo. I want you to go low fat, high fat. Whoa, I don't know if I can do that. That's hard. I want you to walk for 5 minutes. I got that. See the difference? So they feel they can do it. So, but with nutrition, though, at the end of the day, it's the most valuable thing. What you feed yourself, what you put in your body. I mean, just look around. Look around, guys. Come on. It's right there in front of us. And the key is eliminating processed foods and excess sugar. And I'm going to throw in there now vegetable oils. All of them. And I love olive oil. And olive oil is a healthy monounsaturated, but don't overdo it either. But if you're going to use a vegetable oil, you want to use olive oil or avocado oil. But most processed vegetable oils are deadly. Canola, all that stuff. Soybean oil, look out. It's up to you. Peanut oil, it's up to you. But be forewarned, okay? Because they're finding a lot of problems that it's related to. A lot. So just don't kill the messenger. Just remember it's a message. And if it was me, I'd look into it. Especially if I use a lot of vegetable oils in my cooking and preparation, especially if you're eating margarine and all that stuff versus real butter or bacon grease or lard or beef tallow. Welcome to my world. So healthy nutrition is about processed foods, sugar, and vegetable oils. You can, if you eliminate or really, really control those three things, you're on your way. You really are. You're on your way. Then you just put in the rocks, the big things, the protein, the good sources of carbohydrates, the good sources of fat, and I don't mean, I mean like saturated fat, you know, they've done multiple studies, guys, and people that ate more saturated fat were healthier, lost more weight. Don't kill the messenger. Look it up for yourself. So, but again, you can't have high fat and high carbohydrates either. You got to have one or the other. So there's some tricks to this. But at the same time, forget all that. Just clean up the processed foods, the sugar, and the vegetable oils. Worry about the detail stuff later. I don't ever go into detail until we clean. If you can't clean up your processed foods, your sugar, and your vegetable oils, I'm not going anywhere near the other stuff. We're not going to talk keto, vegan, this, that. Forget it. Because you won't do it. It won't happen. That's a figment of somebody's imagination. So, healthy nutrition, powerful instructor. And as you're going to learn here, all these things are free. It's like going to a public school. You don't have to pay for it. You don't even have to pay taxes. You just got to show up. Right? Because you get to choose every day what you put in your mouth. You get to choose every day whether you want to go outside, and you don't even need shoes. I only wear a pair of shoes to do any kind of aerobic work once a week. Yeah. I went out pulling a tire this morning barefoot. I go for a barefoot walk on the weekend. I go for a barefoot walk a couple times during the week. Barefoots, aren't you? Don't even, so you can't even tell me you need shoes. But you might need a pair of shorts depending on where you're at. So, and you may not need a shirt unless you're a female. You know, you don't want to draw a crowd. But what I'm trying to say is it's easy. Then you got to make the hard choices. This is hard, what you feed this. Okay, so those are your first two right there. But those first two are tough. Am I right? Yeah, they're hard. But if we can't get past those two, the rest of the stuff is really wicked, guys. It's wicked. And life is tough because then you're dealing with, do you know that diabetes is the number one? I mean, it's like a rocket ship. Bing. And if I could create a video of what your life is going to be like when you're like 75 or 70 or 80 and you have diabetes and you've got bad eyesight, you're going blind, you have problems with your circulation, you got all these problems happening. They're really bad. And all because you chose not to pay attention to what your teacher was teaching you. And your teacher about your healthy nutrition teacher was saying, back off the sugar. Because if you saw yourself really struggling at the end of your life, you wouldn't like what you see. It would scare the crap out of you. It would scare the bejeebas out of you. And I don't want that for anybody. But we know now. We know. All right, guys, before we get to number 3, we're going to take a quick break. So hang on, everybody, for Life's 6 Great Instructors. All right, number 3, self-esteem, esteem of self, confidence. And that starts with loving ourselves. I've done a whole show on that. The number one relationship you have on the planet is with yourself. In the universe, then you're dealing with your spiritual relationship. In my world, it's with God. Yours could be whoever you want it to be with. But it goes beyond me. But on this planet, it's with your number one relationship is with yourself. So if you don't feel good about yourself, if you don't have good self-esteem, you're going to struggle. Because then why should you eat good? If you don't like yourself, why should you take care of this body? If you don't think this is a temple, then why would you care about what you feed your face? Pretty important, right? Think about that. Pretty important. Because if you don't love yourself and you don't cherish this body, you're not going to take care of it. It's like when somebody gives you something and you didn't have to earn it. Hate to say it, you're less likely to take care of it. Less likely to take care of it. Versus if you worked hard for it, struggled, sacrificed, man, you're going to take care of it, right? It's true. So, but having confidence in yourself and really goes a long way. What you think about yourself, and when you have self-esteem, one of the number one fears, but it's oh God, what am I? I'm using a word here. I want to use insecurities that we all have is the opinions of others. Yeah, especially young people. We really, really worry because social media has done this to us. I mean, we put up a post and we only got 5 likes. Oh my God. But this other post got 10. Why did I only get 5? See, we've done this to ourselves. I think Australia on Instagram took away likes. I had heard somebody say they're going to take away here, but we'll see. So we've really become insecure about everything in our life. What we wear, our hair, our skin, our race, everything. We're so insecure about it. And we worry what other people think. Because you're not good enough. That's a fear. Remember that? What you do is not good enough. What you say is not good enough. After a while, when your brain tells you that enough times, you go, man, I suck. And if you suck, why should you eat good? Right? Makes sense to me. I mean, if I sucked, I'm not worried about what I'm eating. Bring on the cheesecake. I saw that today. I was going grocery shopping. I had to pick up some things. My wife's out of town. So I wanted to pick up some things because it's Labor Day weekend. I've got some things planned, a big hike planned. Unless I go to the Grand Canyon. I saw this ad. I was putting together a quick list. It said cheesecake. Man, I love cheesecake. Don't you? I mean, I love cheesecake. I really do. Like chocolate. Cheesecake. And I go, nope. You're not going to buy that cheesecake. By golly. If I do want cheesecake, I always could just get a slice of it or something. But see, if I didn't care about myself, if I didn't care about what I'm planning to do this weekend, with my hikes and some other things I'm planning on doing, and I want to have good energy, then I would go up, eat a bunch of crappy food and then complain about how bad I felt and my energy was low and went, right? I would feed my insecurity, wouldn't I? Well, you're not good enough anyways, Arnie. So what does it matter? You suck. People that suck don't need to eat good. They just suck. So being confident Starts with loving yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to be confident because you're going to be worried about whatever everybody else thinks about you. You're going to believe them. You're not going to believe you. Why should you believe somebody that sucks? You'll believe somebody you've never met before on Instagram or Facebook. And they saw your post and they said, you suck. And how did they say that? Because they didn't like it. So I must suck. Something to think about, guys. Self-esteem, third great instructor, how we think about ourselves, our confidence. Number 4, let's throw another physical thing in here. Rest. I struggled with this for a long time because I thought I was Superman. And over the last year or so, I've tried to get another hour of sleep. And it's hard. But I've been pushing myself to get more rest. But when you're doing a lot of things, your brain gets going. So I try to do things to just chill out. Even if I've been going hard, like tonight, I got to get to bed literally almost after the show because Friday is my early day. I get up early. And I got to be ready. And I'll be fine. But rest is important. And it's something you can't make up. So there have been events that I've done where I've gone a whole day without sleeping. Literally. And some of my long runs on the weekend, I'll literally be up, not running, but I'll literally be up for 20 hours or 22 hours. Because I'll go to bed late because it might be a Saturday. So I'm going to stay up with my wife or we'll go do something. And I just stay up. And then I crash. And I sleep pretty good, but you don't make it up. What I try not to do is do that too often. Because if I was doing that every week or more than once a week, that's unhealthy. Unhealthy. And for years, I went with little sleep. Okay? So sleep is huge. She runs Ariana Huffington. She's the one that really brought this to the forefront, sleep. There have been some great books written on sleep. I mean, this is super important to look into. And she brought it to the forefront. I think, well, I know she was in her office and she collapsed and hit her head on the desk and knocked herself out. Yeah. And after that, she goes, this is dumb. What am I doing? I'm not sleeping. So she did a deep dive into the importance of sleep. Yeah. So, I mean, so now you see all kind of things out there. There's seminars and books and lots of high-level people now are all talking about how important sleep is. And it's one thing you say you're going to get a lot of sleep. It's another thing to actually do it because you got to kind of prepare for it. You know, one of the things that I'm learning to do is cooling down my room, emptying my brain, tuning out tonight will be different. We'll see how I do tonight. Tuning out technology a good hour before. That's hard too. Because sometimes I'll just chill out and when I'm done at the end and maybe watch some funny YouTube videos or something that interests me just for a few minutes. But that's not good either. So what I should be doing is reading. I've got some good books here because I love audiobooks, but I used to be a voracious reader, and I need to pick that book up again because reading like that, especially at that time with my feet up on my soft chair, puts me right out. So it's important to have like a little system as you work into it. Don't say, I'm going to sleep. So, but sleep is powerful. It's a great instructor. It's free. They're all free. Number five. So let's talk about sunlight. Kind of relates to number one with movement, exercise, getting outside, especially during this whole COVID thing. You know, early on, one of the main things they said was as a protective agent was sunlight, vitamin D, especially D3. I can't tell you how many doctors I heard said how important it was to get out and get some good sunlight. But here's the sad thing. Because I used to drive my mom and my grandmother crazy because I was always out in the sun, and I'm dark complected anyways. And they would continue to yell at me and this is like 30 years ago or longer. And they were always yelling at me for being out in the sun. Terrible. Well, no and yes. No meaning the right way, it's very healthy for you. And usually I'm only out exposed, and I'm pretty covered once a week, really exposed for a long time. Because I'm outside, I'm hiking. That's what I do. And, you know, I don't believe in sunscreen. I've done my homework on that, talked to people about it. And now more and more research is pointing out to not using sunscreen because of some of the carcinogens in it. Don't kill the messenger. Do your homework. It's giving you food for thought. So I've never used that anyways. So I try to get out there every day for a good 15, 20 minutes of exposure. I embrace it. I don't care how hot it is. I want to be out in the sun. You know, I don't wear a hat. I do wear sunglasses, but I don't wear a hat. So, but I'm not out there for a prolonged time except on the weekend when I do a long hike. But then I'm covered up a lot. But the sun is so powerful for building our immune system. Hello? That's what this whole thing is about. Because people have a weak immune system in this country. Remember what I said earlier? When 50% of the people aren't exercising, there's a good chance they're not outside, especially in this day and age. What do you think was angering me and making me sad about my park being empty all summer long? How important, and I'm being honest, my street is filled with kids, except I haven't seen them for about 6 months. What does that tell you? It tells me their parents are afraid and the kids are locked up inside playing video games. Now, how healthy is that? What are we doing there? And don't tell me health, because we're not. We're not. We're hurting these young people by keeping them inside, out of the sunlight. They need that sun. We all do, but they especially do too, to grow and to be healthy. And the sun is so powerful. It really is. And by not allowing our children to play outside like normal growing kids is a big mistake. And it's, you know, I don't know how it's going to play out, but the longer it goes, there's going to be a price to pay. Not that this is a political thing here, but but I do know this. You know, I spoke at a school last year, my alma mater, my high school, and I met the new coach. Nice guy, the youngest football coach in the state of Arizona. And one of the teachers at the school wanted me to help them petition the district office to make it mandatory that freshmen must participate in a sport, whatever one they want. football, cross country, volleyball, whatever it might be. I don't know, whatever the sports are. And so what they do this year, they canceled their sports program. I don't know how smart that was, because this I know. If they thought that, and it hadn't been, they didn't vote on it, so it's not mandatory, believe me, but it hasn't been. But if they thought they were having poor participation before, what's going to happen now? When the kids that were playing found out that, man, they don't have to listen to all these coaches and they can go out just as much as fun and they don't have to lose. We can have a lot of fun out here playing with our friends. Not supposed to be doing that. Or maybe they went out and got a job and they go, man, I'm making $100 a week, dude. That takes care of a lot of my expenses, if you know what I mean. I can get a girlfriend. We're going to lose them. And remember I told you earlier about movement, how I've been blessed that I've been able to be moving almost 50 years of my life, where it's ingrained in cement now. Well, it's not going to be for these youngsters because they're never going to get a chance. We're going to lose them right when I was getting going. We're going to lose them. It's hard to get them back. Look around our country right now. 50%, like I said earlier, don't exercise. Now, do you think those are the ones that were exercising when they were kids? I doubt it. They're the ones that didn't like it because somebody said something mean to them, or somebody made fun of them, or somebody got them involved in something that was harmful, boring. So, yeah, sunlight, powerful, free. All right, let's look at the last one now. Love. That's right. And I don't mean love like an intimate relationship, even though that's fine too. I'm talking about friendship. This was my third leg of my stool that I talked about on the list. Movement, nutrition, relationships, deep friendships. They're hard. You know, I've got 2 or 3 that I can count on my hand. I'm trying to build them up, but I'm somewhat careful because it's quality relationships. Quality relationships. That's the key. Because you don't want to be around people that suck the energy out of you. That's not quality. You want give and take. You want unconditional love. You don't want to be in a relationship where you're giving all the love and there's nothing coming back ever. And that goes for personal, intimate, work, relationships. So guard your relationships. You know, choose your relationships. Look, you can choose your relationships. And then it's up to you to be the person you need to be. Not wait for some, well, I'm going to hang around that guy because he's going to change me. No, you're going to change you. Because if I got news for you, if it's like any other relationship, if someone starts changing you, if you don't want to change, you're going to be resentful. And that ain't going to last at all. So you want to change. If you want to be more timely, if you want to be more honest, if you want to be more, whatever it might be, you know, joyful, if you want to have more integrity, and these are all great values to have, then you choose to hang around those kind of people. And you can support each other and love each other. But don't jump into a group like that because you want them to change you. You're going to hate them. I've known people even ask that of hey, keep me accountable, which is fine. Now, it's one thing when you pay for somebody to keep you accountable. It's another thing when you are around friends and you want them to keep you accountable. Because at some point, they're going to expect you to step up. They're going to expect you to step up. But friendships are so powerful. Connections. Being connected to people. So powerful. And that's why church is so important. Which is why not to get political, when you took away the church, you took away a big part. I lost my Bible study group, even though they're getting together again now, but still after all these rules were, too much. Versus we used to just pile in the room, man, bunch of guys. I felt like a teenager in there because they're a lot older than me. And it was wisdom. And I'm right in there with them, and we're just having at it. Now you got to kind of wear a mask and separate, and because we're all afraid of each other. No, that doesn't work for me. We need connection. We need to have collisions in life. When you have collisions, you share things. That's how you build relationships. What I'm seeing is people are leery of all this video stuff. They're getting tech weary. Zoom and this and that, because they're not connecting. We need, as Tony Hsieh would say, who created Zappos, we need collisions. And we've lost that here the last 6 months. We need collision, because that's how you build quality relationships. Collisions. We need to embrace people. And if you're not doing that right now, you know who I'm talking to you right now, because I have to talk to myself all the time. Thank God I have my gym and people that I can have collisions with. And my clients, collisions. That saved the bacon. Save the bacon, man. So these are some of the things that I want you to think about, especially with love. And love starts, as we said in number 3, it starts with ourselves. You can't give what you don't have. If you don't love yourself, it's awful hard to love others unconditionally. You may say and want to, but at some point you're going to get tired. You got to love yourself. And one of the greatest anti-aging medicine in the world is love. Just love people. Don't judge them. Judgment's poison. Love is eternal. Love works. And if you just love people, I mean, it's an amazing thing. And you become a great friend, and you'll attract great friends, and your life becomes better. Okay? But you got to love people. So there you have it, guys. Those are life's 6 great instructors. I wish I could charge you for them, but I can't. But they're free. They're free. So remember, you have movement. Get out every day and do something. Go for a walk, jump up and down, dance. I don't care what you do. Move. Number 2, eat better. Clean up the processed foods, excess sugar, vegetable oils, processed vegetable oils. Number 3, self-esteem. Esteem of self. Love yourself unconditionally. Be confident. If you love yourself, you will be confident. I promise you. Number 4, rest. Get that sleep. Rest your body. It's something we all got to work on. Get a little more rest. Be surprised what happens to your body. Number 5, sunlight. Get out in there 15, 20 minutes. Don't get out there and roast your body, but get out there and get that skin going a little bit. Get that sun. And if you're going to be out there for a long, long time, cover up a little bit. I wouldn't use sunscreen, but that's your call. I'm not a doctor. I just read. So, get some sun. Get a little color. Look at my color. Get some color. Love, friendships, relationships. So I've heard it once said, to get a friend, you got to be a friend. It's true. Because a lot of people just want to be your friend, but if you treat your friends like, you know what, they may not be around very long. But if you're a great friend, you'll attract great friends. There you go, guys. That's life's 6 great instructors. Embracing them all will change your life. This is Coach Arnie. I appreciate you guys. Love you. Don't forget to look me up. Give me a holler. Give me a call. 602-390-9144. You can email me. Actually, you can go to my website, arniefonseca.com. If that link's not working, just put in www. We're getting that worked out. I've been doing some changes. And there you go. Talk to you next week. Have a great, safe Labor Day.